Just come onto the pitch, followed by the York team today in what promises to be the first real task for Salford in the second division. Let me straight away run through the teams for you. The Rydale York team, the home team today, in this super new stadium with its running track. It's a tremendous ground to play on, and it's a fair crowd as well, filling both stands. The team is for Rydale York at fullback Hutchinson. Then on the right wing, Kettle String. A.N. Other, we've seen him a few times. A.N. Other is at number 3, and James Luluai, number 4. The left centre is a man that Salford certainly will have to watch out for with his excellent pedigree. And on the wing, Pinkney. The half-backs are Vasey and Stevens, Gary Stevens from Castleford. And okay, we'll make a note of that, we'll know that. In the forwards, we've got Hayes, Hooker Horton and Sullivan, and then Price, Williams and Nico with the substitutes, number 14 Weekly and number 15 Shaw. For the Salford team, it's the same Raz that we're used to seeing. It's Gibson at fullback, Evans, Burkitt and Gilfillan and Hadley. Cassidy and Fell today are the half-backs, and in the forwards, Tunks, Lee, Sherratt, Hanson, Blease and Burgess, and the substitutes are Kerry and Bradshaw. That is probably the best team Salford can put out today as a 15-man squad, and already the kick-off has been made, and it's a clean take from Salford as Hadley has the first chance to test out what the Hunslet defence can do. It's a fine dry day today. In fact, it's probably one of the colder days that we've had so far this season, but it is dry, and we should be in for an excellent game of rugby. Both these teams have a lot to prove today. It's too early in the season to say that this could influence the final outcome for the season, but it is true also. That's a good tackle from Evans after a very good take from York's left winger Pinkney. It is true to say that these two teams are amongst the 6 most likely to get promoted, and from that point of view it's a 4-pointer today. And this is a good crisp start. Salford have started keenly, as indeed have York. And the ball's in the middle of the field, it's going out left. Oh, and that's probably the chance. The kick through gives, coming back off a Salford player, gives Hunslet the chance to go through the tackles again. But at that one, then the referee has noticed that it was Andy Burgess who was caught offside, and so York will take the quick one. That's good thinking, with the Salford players actually waiting for him to kick for touch, and it goes out to the right wing, who's cleanly tackled by Gilfillan. And Hadley gets in this time. There's quite a stiffish breeze blowing today, and in this half it's behind Salford. Oh, that's an excellent run. An excellent run. That was Price making a lot of ground from that straightforward play, running through the Salford defence, and the referee has adjudged that in the tackle one of the Salford players was over-aggressive, used an arm, and this gives York the first opportunity to put some points on the board from a penalty almost in front of the posts and on the Salford 25-yard line. The referee today is Mr. Ollerton of Wigan. Well, it's a bright start, and we saw the Salford defence just breached for a few yards. The cover was there, and there was no danger from a try-scoring point of view, but the penalty's been awarded. Yes, and it's a good kick. That's a good start for York. It was Sullivan who's given them the first score on the board, so that's York 2, Salford 0. The Sullivan goal from that penalty. Coming in only the second minute of the game. So it's Salford to kick off, deep in York territory. Well taken by the York player and tackled well by Ian Sherratt, pushing him back to 10 yards from his own line. but York looking lively. And that was a good run from Hayes. And again another partial break, that time from Williams. And that's smart play. But Sherritt read it well and was able to make the tackle. Oh, and it said play on. Oh, but fortunately for Salford, he dropped the ball. That was very sharp thinking then from Mikau. He saw that he wasn't covered, and Salford were rather fortunate to get the ball from the pass. And Burgess alleged to have knocked on in that tackle. Although it did look as though the York players actually pulled the ball out of his hand. However, it's York to feed, York to win the scrum. That's Gary Stevens. And another taking the ball and dying in that tackle. And again, Salford, in their enthusiasm to get up and mark the men, has been penalised for offside. And then I think it was Ian Blease who was penalised for talking, and yet again another penalty for not retreating 10 yards. So 3 refereeing decisions there, certainly going in York's favour, and it's not really consolation that kick actually went backwards, but it is an indication of the strength of the wind. So Salford with the wind at the back, so got it all to do in this first half. But that's a good tackle. That's the sort of tackling that we've seen from Salford all season, and that was Price well brought down. And it was Williams trying to find a little chink of light in the Salford defence. Oh, that's a smart move from York. Several options on from the York attack at that time, from that play of the ball. And York have made a very lively start. And it looks as though Hanson's taken a little bit of a knock, and York will force the way through to the Salford 25. York looking sharp, and that's a neat kick through. Oh dear. Oh. Well, there's just so much going on there. Oh, Cassidy seemed to have it covered, and then he missed it, and it went to the York player, and with the line at the York's mercy, they put a pass to ground, and it was Gibson who was able to recover and run the ball clear. But now that the referee has spotted that the York in their enthusiasm have been caught offside, and so this time it's the opportunity for Salford with the penalty to kick for touch. The Hanson injury, he's coming off to receive attention, and this would be a blow to Salford if he had to come off so early in the game. And a lucky let-off for Salford, it has to be said, that York have breached the defence a couple of times, and on that occasion Cassidy failed to collect the ball quickly enough, and it was only at the second attempt that Gibson, from a pass from the York players trying to get the spare man available, that he was able to Gibson was able to collect and run the ball clear. Now York have been caught offside again, and so Salford will have the chance, I think, to kick for goal. Now well, you probably heard the announcement. I don't know what the injury is to Hanson. It looked as though he'd done something to his hand, and he'll perhaps receive treatment, but it gives Arthur Bradshaw the chance to be on within less than 5 minutes of the start of play. Now we've got a new kicker, Martin Burkitt. And he's made it. That's an excellent kick. That will boost his confidence. That will do him no end of good, and it levels the score after 5 minutes. Salford without their regular kicker today, Kerry at substitute, and Burkitt being chosen to take the kicks.
The penalty kicks for Salford, Martin Burkitt.
5 minutes gone, it's 2 points each. Oh, that was nicely taken by Burkitt as well. David Fell's playing today, and at scrum half, which I think is a new position certainly this season, where he's played all his matches at standoff. But it just shows the variety of options within this Salford team now. And pass to Blease, to Tunks. But Tunks loses the ball in that tackle, and if Salford are going to do well in this game, then they've got to avoid the mistakes and they've got to do the tackling. That was another making a good break, good run from that position. And York are going along the line, and that was a good tackle. Two-man tackle. Another going again, going on his own, taking a lot of footing down. Well, he's made a good start. The team sheet and the announcement didn't say who he was, other than another, but he certainly made a very bright start for York. Not been frightened to take on men and has made good yards forward. Oh, that's an interesting kick through. Hadley should have it covered. He takes it cleanly. And he passes it out to Gibson, who cuts back inside. But in the end, he's tackled at 10 yards out. So Salford now have it all to do. With the wind at the back, we might see some good kicking. Well, Ian Sherritt there broke one tackle, but on that occasion nobody in support. And in fact, that was a nice pass out, and Hadley unlucky there not to get away. But I was just going to say, at that point we could see that in fact the Salford team were bunching. That's a kick through from Cassidy, which was just inside the field of play, according to the linesman, and put Salford inside the York half. The Salford team on that occasion were actually bunching. They weren't spread too evenly across the field. But it's York with the put in, and that seemed to go straight behind the front row. But they win the ball, and they're putting it out well across the line as the fullback Hutchinson comes into the line. But well taken by Gil Fillan and Gibson together, and perhaps the referee penalising the Salford team unfairly. But York, I mean, look, that's good quick thinking rather than kick for touch against this wind. It was the quick tap, and it made as many yards as the kick would have. And the York forwards still driving in, and have probably made the better start. They have their options open at the play of the ball. And it was Nick Howe with the first pass, and it was on to Price, and he made a lot of ground, and it's Salford looking stretched at the moment. The ball's going along the line through both the half backs. It's back with Stevens now. He's got men to choose from, and he's chosen another, and fortunately the Salford defence was up quickly that time to put him to ground. Oh, that was a smart move from the play of the ball. And he got a man in support with a break, and he's going for the line. But it was a good tackle from Cassidy after a great break from Williams, who saw an opening and made a good 15 yards. And now York putting the ball cleanly across the line. Oh, but what's happened here? Oh, and the play's still going. And it's a loose ball. And Salford recovered a loose ball, and it goes inside to a Salford player. Well, in some ways that was a let-off for Salford, and yet had they been able to collect the ball cleanly, the other loose ball at the other side of the field, then they could have had the chance to make a few yards. But it's York who are certainly looking the livelier team in the first 10 minutes. They're spending most of the game inside the Salford half, but the referee has spotted that they were offside on that occasion, which gives Salford the opportunity with the penalty to push the ball down towards the York 25, but they've not quite made it. I don't think Salford have actually been in the York 25 yet, but it's Evans who's inside the 25 now. Oh yes, they're inside the 25 just for a couple of passes earlier on. And the referee has judged that was obstruction. So, are they going to kick this time? No, they're not. They're going to take the short penalty again. And again, Salford knocked back the 10 yards. And again, This time the referee decides to play on. I don't know what the difference is, but I suppose it's in Salford's interest not to concede another penalty. But it's York with all the ideas and looking sharp. Stevens running the play in the middle of the field, but York have dropped the ball, which gives Salford another chance to go forward inside the York half, with Peter Tunks passing it on to Gibson, hanging onto the ball, going across to Cassidy and to Fell with a run around. But that was a good tackle from the two York players. Both Sullivan and Nicol took that ball well. And Salford keeping the ball live, but nowhere to go. The York players are smothering them, and that was another good tackle from York. That was a nice break for a few yards off a simple pass. What will Salford do here? To go for the drop goal? And they got it. Well, 1 point's better than none. And that was Cassidy. Cassidy, about 11 minutes gone. And it puts Salford in the lead by 3 points to 2. A lead that we hope we can build on with the wind in their advantage in this first half. We need to see them keeping play inside the York territory, and they've not done that too much on the balance of play so far. Then it's York who've had most of the possession, most of the territory, and in fact looked the better of the two teams. Salford have conceded 2 or 3 unnecessary penalties from various situations. And just so far have been content to play the 1 or 2 pass rugby, and that's important to keep things tight in the early stage of this game. And there's a kick. That's a good deep kick, but it's fielded very cleanly and easily by Hutchinson. But perhaps an indication that Salford really weren't going anywhere on that series of plays. And this is an excellent run from York's Pinkney, their left winger, who made 25 yards by bobbing and weaving, and Salford were unable to put him down. Now the Salford tackling, that was only a 1-to-1 tackle. And this is York looking lively. There were options on for them there, and Williams was unfortunate not to get the ball away when he had many support. And it's Sullivan. Oh, and he's been allowed to go on, and they've not put him down properly. Well, Salford, we've got a lot to do here. Sullivan playing the ball. It's to Stevens. And York looking good. A good series of plays from York that brought them from winning their own 25 right onto the Salford 25. And Salford are not looking quite so sharp, if I dare say that, today, as we've seen them in recent games. But there's a long way to go. They're in the lead, 3 points to 2. And maybe they're not being able to pass the ball along the line because the York team are not giving them the compulsory distance at the play of the balls, and that's another penalty to Salford, which Burkitt has made good yardage for. And it's Tunks with a drive on. Salford are lined out better for this one. But in the end, the York defence was more than a match for that passing movement. But that was nice. That was a nice break from Bradshaw, and it was Gibson who was up with him to take the pass. Oh, that was well taken. And a little kick through, and Gilfillan might get it, and he does, and he scores. Well, that was a lovely kick through from Burgess, and it was Gilfillan who was following up. And the York defenders just a little bit slow on that occasion, and watched him pick the ball up and put it down within a couple of feet only to work within that corner flag. But after I've been saying that Salford were not looking too good with their only scoring opportunity so far in the game, they've actually put together a move which has resulted in a try. So, 15 minutes gone.
Try for Salford, scored by John
Gilfillan try confirmed for us. And Burkitt, it's a very difficult goal attempt, 5 yards outside the 25 on the touch line, but the wind is behind him. And that looks good. And it was. What an excellent goal from Burkitt. Well now. So on this sort of display from Burkitt, then probably Kerry will have difficulty regaining the kicking slot. That really was the most difficult of goal kicks. It was from the touchline, was wind assisted, but Burkitt judged it perfectly. And that now puts the score at York 2, Salford 9. So, Salford not playing particularly well so far, but with the lead, and that's what we've come for. We've come for a result. So let's hope that they can build on that they can relax, that they don't do anything silly, and that they keep up the game. That was a nice take from Gilfillan from that kick-off as well. It was sharp play for him to follow the pass through, to follow the kick through. And now they're keeping the ball alive better. And that was a neat little run from Fell, but not able to get the ball away. Kick from Cassidy. Oh, charge down. Oh, Burgess nearly recovered it, but in the end he couldn't take the ball cleanly, and the referee has awarded a knock-on and a York put-in. Well, this is a good game. And it's York ball inside the Salford half, along the line. Hey, another to the fullback, who's made a clean break. And he's got the middle to Pingney, and he's away. But a last-touch tab, but the York are keeping the ball alive so well. That was excellent play, involving their left winger Pinckney and fullback Hutchinson. And in the end, the referee adjudged that the Salford players, that Gibson didn't allow him to play the ball, and Gibson should know better than to talk to the referee, because that's another penalty. Now, in the circumstances, if they're going to go for goal, it doesn't matter whether it's from the 10-yard extra penalty that was given or where the original decision was made from. But I think Tamati will be a little disappointed to see that on 2 occasions, at least in the first 17 minutes of this game, that 2 Salford players have been penalised for dissent. Mild dissent maybe, but nevertheless they should know that you don't talk to referees in rugby league. So this is an opportunity now for York to pull 2 points back. A difficult kick into the wind outside the 25, fairly straight, and it just goes wide, and it's well taken by Gilfillan, who runs the ball clear. I think it was the wind that just actually forced that kick, or made that kick drift out, and it's Hadley doing well, shaking off 2 or 3 tackles before being finally brought down by Dean Williams and Sullivan. Tunks having a few yards to drive, and it's Ian, please. Showing enormous strength, getting 12 yards outside the 25. Cassidy with the kick, and that's a good long kick. Almost intertouched, but in the end Hutchinson was able to watch the ball go harmlessly dead, but that showed much better length on that kick from Cassidy. And now it's York with the opportunity to play again with Hayes, well tackled by the Salford player, by Tunks and Bradshaw. But they're still looking sharp, you know, the breaks are coming there from York. They've been unfortunate on a couple of occasions not to score tries. And that was Vasey that time, running across the field. Oh, and another again in the play, making a good break almost to the halfway line as the sun comes out for the first time this afternoon. And that's a nice inside pass, a head-high tackle. Oh, the referee says it wasn't head-high. But that was nice play. That was Price in the pass, and now they're queuing up on that side. But he comes inside and it's a kick through. And taken by Gibson, who's seen a gap and made valuable yards from his own 25. It looked for a minute as though Gibson was clear, but the York defenders closed him down. And Burgess chooses to take that tackle. Cassidy looking to make the break. Salford on to Tunks, looking to push men off, keep the ball free, and he does. It's back to Lee, coming along the line to Gibson. Gibson has found a clear way through. Will he go on his own? Who's with him? Oh, that's a great break. That was better play from Salford, and the cover was good enough. And Salford still keeping the ball alive, and that shows the benefits of keeping the ball alive. It was a great break by Gibson. The supporters couldn't quite get in a position from where they could take the pass, but that's a little kick through from Cassidy, taken very nicely. And look at this, it's now the length of the field. And again, that was most unfortunate from the York point of view, because they had a clean break on, they had the field completely free in front, and the pass to Pinckney, unfortunately, from their point of view, went to ground. But here's Salford coming back and keeping the ball alive. And we saw before that keeping the ball alive is the opportunity to draw men into the tackle and then create the space. And the referee has adjudged that two of the York forwards were offside at that play the ball. So what will Salford do now? Will they go for goal? Yes, Captain Blease has told Burkitt to kick for goal, and I think that's a wise decision. But that was the first clean break we've seen from Salford since the try. Gibson went through. The support wasn't quite fast enough, but the York cover was good enough. And now, and again, what an exciting game though, because York, from the kick through, the York fullback ran the ball clear, had the opportunity to give it to his winger, who could well have had a clear run to the line, and fortunately for Salford, the pass went to ground. Having said that, the Salford cover was making its way across the field. Not that time. Just past halfway the first half, and Salford's starting to look better now, keeping the ball alive. Sherratt, good break from Sherratt, and Blease taking three men to bring him down from that very solid burst. Onto Tunks doing the same thing. Again, it needed a three-man York tackle to bring down Tunks. Cassidy, little kick through. He's still running, they're chasing it, and he's recovered it. Oh, but he's dropped the ball, and it's gone to York, gone to Pinckney. Pinckney working well. Cassidy unfortunate there not to be able to recover that ball, but it was a good clearing run from Pinckney. And Salford watching, not putting the man down convincingly. They've got some big forwards. That was Sullivan taking some stopping, and they're still looking lively. This is an excellent break from Nikau, and good Salford cover to bring him down, but that was good play from York. You can see why York have had only the one defeat so far this year. They're as good as any team Salford have had to play in the second division so far. That's the hooker putting the ball out to the left, and Luluai taking that one, not making the break. But it's Stevens. Is he going to kick? No, he passes on. There's the kick through, and he's come back and they got the rebound, and he's a run on, and the Gibson tackle was just enough to knock him off balance and enable the Salford cover the opportunity to recover. And Salford very fortunate again there. Price was going through, and that's three good chances that York have had, and that was the sixth tackle and the turnover. But Salford are going to show that they're not going to have to rest for a minute. Three chances to York. Oh, and Salford nearly through. Three chances to York and no tries. One half chance to Salford and the try. And that's a nice pass, and Gilfillan's gone away, and he got the ball away to Hadley. Can Hadley outpace them all? He's going to kick, and he's... But in the end, Kettlestring, the York right winger, had the legs on Hadley on that occasion. I think Hadley just had to watch his step and just had to check a little bit to avoid Hutchinson's lunge at him. It was not a serious, it was a half-hearted lunge, but just enough to slow him down for those vital 2 yards. So it's end-to-end stuff. Now we have seen a couple of Salford breaks and another chance for Salford. But they know that this York team are not going to be an easy team to beat. And there were options open at that particular play. And in the end, Williams held on to the ball. That's a good kick. Gibson's got it covered and takes it cleanly. Salford with the sun in their eyes and the wind at the back. Passes on to Hadley. Hadley has seen the gap, and now come on Hadley, he's got on your own, and he's going to go on his own. But that's an excellent tackle. An excellent tackle from Hutchinson. Just shows what keeping the ball alive can do. It was a good break from Hadley. He wasn't sure whether to go on his own or look for support inside, but he saw that the Blees option was covered by... Oh, that's a lovely break from Fell. A good half break, not quite the man on his shoulder to get the ball out to, but he sent a couple of men the wrong way during that particular play. It's Trunks looking to make a few yards. But that was nice play from Salford. And that was... Oh! And that's another point, all count. Lee that time, seeing that not much else was on, able to drop a goal, and it went in courtesy of the post. They all count. And so this is good for Salford. 27 minutes gone.
The drop goal for Salford by number 9, Mark Lee.
York 2, Salford 10. 29 minutes gone. Salford with the wind in the backs but the sun in their eyes. And just for the moment, I think slightly in the ascendancy, but they're still going to have to work hard and not watch the ball go into touch. Well, that was an interesting play. That there was touchline was clear. The York kicker saw it and kicked accurately, and it's a scrum down, which it's so Salford way. Cassidy running, and he's through. Almost through. That was well played by Cassidy. It was very deceptive. He looked as though he was standing still, but then suddenly increased his speed. And here's Fell jinxing around with Gibson. Gibson to Hadley, and Hadley's got speed, but the cover's coming over. But Hadley made some good few yards, and that was good play from Salford. They were lining out better, and they kept the ball alive. And Gibson was involved, and Fell was involved, and all from that initial break from the scrum by Cassidy, who looked to be standing still and suddenly increased his speed through a gap. It's Cassidy again along the line. Nearly a little break. It's going out left. Oh, and Bradshaw beating the man, keeping it alive. And now it's going right. That's better play from Salford. Bradshaw, when he looks as though he's had, and now I think we're going to see a kick. It's a high one. Where's the Salford kick? Oh, well taken, Hutchinson. Very difficult kick to take in these conditions. The swirling wing is putting the ball anywhere almost, but he took that very nicely at the second attempt. And another good tackle from Salford. Hey, another. Playing well at right centre. Stevens dodging, weaving around, not quite able to get the ball out on that occasion to the many support. But this is a kick from Horton, which Gibson's collected easily, but unable to evade the tackles. Oh, well, Gibson was quick thinking there. He saw he didn't have a marker, and at first from Rinus I thought he'd been penalised by the referee, but in fact the referee had penalised York for being offside, when on perhaps that occasion the advantage might have given Gibson the opportunity. Penalty to Burkitt. Drinks time for the Salford team. It's a long way out, this kick. almost straight in front, difficult to judge, swirling wind. He's got the length, and he's got the direction, and that's an excellent kick from Burkitt. I mean, I'm starting to wonder why Burkitt hasn't been doing the kicks all season, and I don't mean that with any disrespect to Kerry in any way. But after 31 minutes, the score is York 2, Salford 12. So this is a good position for Salford to be in. Will it be enough though? The wind will be against them in the second half. And I think we'd like to see them in this phase of the game, seeing if they can build on the lead by scoring a try or two. But York are still working hard. Oh, and they kept the ball out well. Oh, and Salford were... Oh, what a break from Evans! And Cassidy coming up. Well, that shows a measure of what a good team York are, because having lost the ball in the tackle, they defended excellently. And and now what's going to happen? Oh, needs play on. And York are keeping the ball alive. That was exciting play. In their efforts to get the ball along the lines, York had an opportunity which the Salford players were able to recover the ball when the York player lost it. Evans had a good run, he saw Cassidy in support, and then the ball went along the line, but the final pass went behind the Salford player, and it gave York the opportunity to recover the ball. And here they are again, York inside the Salford territory, in possession, looking sharp. It's going cleanly along the line to another. Couldn't break through this time, but he's always looking sharp every time. And the referee are judging that Burgess prevented him from getting up, or bounced him once he was on the floor, and so it's a penalty for York to be taken by Sullivan, who gains a good few yards, and this kit tap will be exactly on the Salford 25. So look at this, lovely long passes to their danger man, Jeff Price. Only 3 men to bring him down. And it's going right again, to the York right, with Williams that time. Oh, several options open there, and in the end it's Luluai who takes that one, but the Salford cover up to it. Now it's going on to the York left. They got men over, and they kill keeping the ball live. That the fullback in the attack, and the last vital pass adjudged to be forward, and the last pass to the winger in plenty of space would have given him a chance to not score, but certainly have made good yards. And York are a good team. They're playing well. They're throwing the ball about cleanly and crisply and keeping the Salford team at full stretch. And that's one against the head, and York have the ball again to the fullback Hutchinson. And Salford's tackling is going to have to stay sharp if they're going to keep York out. Williams that time, who's tackled. That's coming out to the York right again. Oh, little dummy. And he's still coming. In the end, he's got the ball away. But nicely tackled by Gilfillan and Burkitt together. Now it's going all the way to the other side of the field. Well taken. Well taken by Vasey. And they're getting the ball away. And they've got it back. Lulai recovered the ball. And he's gone out to the left wing. And it's Pinckney going, oh, he's dropped the ball. And Salford have recovered the ball after that, after the left winger dropped the ball. Well, that again was good play. Good play from York, keeping Salford at full stretch. The ball came over to the right and then all the way along the hands. And perhaps these drop passes are an indication of the fact it's cold day, but that was a nice pass from Blease. And I think Fell was unlucky not to get away there. He was following it up. But Salford in that move again adjudged to have crossed, and it's a penalty to York. Well, York, we're well pleased with this first half performance against a very strong and swirling wind. They may be behind, but there's 4 or 5 minutes to half time, but it's only 12 points to 2 from their point of view, and with the wind in their favour in the second half, they could well feel confident that they can turn this game round. And Salford adjust to the offside. Burgess in front of the post, not having retreated for 10 yards. And these are unnecessary penalties from Salford's point of view. York just debating what to do, and this time they're going to go for the 2 points. 2 points could be quite vital to them as the game develops. Salford team getting their drinks again. It's number 10 Sullivan to take this penalty into the wind. Not easy, but he makes no mistake. Well, I make that 37 minutes gone. York 4, Salford 12. Nice position to be in. Yes, it's a good goal from Sullivan. Not easy in these conditions. Salford in front, 8 points from goals, 2 penalties, 1 conversion, 2 drop goals, and a try from Gilfillan. I think. Oh, there's the. And that, in fact, was just on the stroke of half time. And so we're going to half time with Salford in the lead, but still the game by no means over. Both teams everything to play for in the second half. I just see that Hanson's going off the field with his hand bandaged. So it's a good game for Salford to win. Vital for. Right, it's the second half. No changes on either team, and it's Salford to kick off. Salford in the lead by 12 points to 4. And that was an indication of the strength of the win, the way the ball was held back and only just made the York 25 line. So Salford got to work hard, and that's going to be the York tactic that Salford didn't adopt. And what a kick! Oh, that was a brilliant kick. Well, immediately that pushes the game from inside the York 25 almost to the Salford line. Now that was one tactic that Salford didn't use in the first half, and York are going to do it all the time. Perry put the ball in, referee are judging that it was the foot up from York. But Salford now know what they're up against this half. York are going to kick every time, and they're going to gain yards and yards. That kick was from the inside the York 25 almost to the Salford line. It was excellently judged and put Salford on the defensive, although they do have the ball, and they should be under no illusions now. What a tough task they've got this second half, to hang on to this lead, but hopefully to build on it. Against the wind, and being pushed back, Sherritt being pushed back against the sun's in at the moment, so no disadvantages from York point of view. That was Ian Blease. This is all striding out well, and it was Lee taking the ball in support but not able to keep the momentum of the break going. And Cassidy looking to kick, but well taken down by Hayes. Steve Gibson at the play of the ball, and it's gone out left to Gilfillan, but Gilfillan tackled on the far side of the field by Kettlestring, and that's a Cassidy kick. Now that's made a long way, but straight out on the full, on the sixth tackle, and so that gives York possession again inside the Salford half, and the opportunity to run the ball. But good Salford tackling. on Sullivan. Out to the left. Clear yardage there. Stevens with the ball, looking to Jinky, gets the ball inside. And it was Horton who almost seemed as though he had the chance to put the ball away. That was a nice pass to Price on the break. Salford tackling up to it on that occasion. Going the other way. Good tackle from Salford. That's the 5th tackle. The kick will be on. Or will it? Oh, it's a loose forward. He's passing on. And although they lost the ball, the referee adjudged it went forward, and because it's on the 6th tackle, it's a handover, which gives Salford possession again. To their relief, I would think. Burkitt with the ball, it's on inside their own 25. Starting the second half very much like they started the first half, and that is on the defensive, and against a York team that's playing like it did at the start of the first half, with a lot of endeavour and enthusiasm and tackling very keenly and looking sharp on attack. That was a pass to Burgess, and that time Burgess agreeing with the referee. Burgess has to be careful applauding referees because they're just as likely to penalise him for doing that. But in the end, Salford had a second penalty, because this time it was the York player who was adjudged to be talking. Oh, 2 options there, and it was Tunks. Held by the York defence, but adjudged to have elbowed Price. Whilst Price was on the ground, and so it's a penalty to York, and that's a kick that's gained them a lot of yards, with the wind they're taking full advantage of it. So it's York on attack. Supporters sensing that something's on here as it goes along the line, and it's Price, that man again, involved. York looking sharp, going out to their right, with a tackle broken, and he's through. What an excellent break, and he's got a man to pass to, and he goes to that cover. That was excellent play from York. The Salford cover was up to it, but it's York still with a chance. Still going. Back into trouble. Salford relieved to do that. There were so many York players involved in that move. This time it's coming out to the York left. And for the second time it was Vasey who was very nearly through. He was involved in the first attack. And it was Williams half seeing the line, choosing to go on his own. Oh, but now it's Burkitt, relieved his kick, and that's a great relieving chase from Burkitt, but it does give York another 6 tackles, and Salford have got to do their defending stint again. Now it's Nickel with the ball. That was excellent play from York, and good cover from Salford, it has to be said, for keeping them out. Another, again, showing his ability today on several occasions. Gary Stevens dodging and weaving on his own. Done it out to the right wing, the Salford cover up to it. Sustained York pressure here. It's going right along the line. Luluai round to the to Pinkney seeing a goal. And that could be a yellow card for Evans. Evans saw that Pinkney had the chance. No, he's off. That's Evans sent off for a high tackle. We're not seeing Evans involved too much in the game. Evans saw the danger, but the tackle was too high. He conceded a penalty and been sent off, so that's Salford down to 12 men. The boos for Evans. He'll be disappointed about that. That's several matches out of the game. Fortunately, the York winger has recovered. Now it's Salford up against it. Now Salford are under pressure, having withstood the York attack, having stopped them under the post 3 times, having given them another 6 tackles. It was the last play, I think, and the clear break that was coming. Pinkney was covered from other defenders, and that was a good kick. Well, 7 minutes into the second half. York are back in it. They're only 1 score away. York 6, Salford 12. Salford down to 12 men. They've got 32 minutes to last with 12 men. It's going to need all their resilience now if they're going to stay in this game. Let's see what happens. The gap's on the right wing. But they've stolen the ball. And Tunks is driving forward, and the York players can't put him down. Now, can Salford score? Can they come back straight? But they're all watching it. Oh, but they threw, but there's a chance on. Oh, Burgess is still going. And he's lost the ball. But they got it back. But the referee has adjudged that there was a knock-on and that Salford had unfair advantage. Well, that was a real chance for Salford, having conceded the 2 points, having had the man sent off. The ball came out to the right, and there was a real opportunity on 2 occasions for scoring chances. Oh, but in the end, the referees awarded a penalty. It's a penalty to York, who have the chance to clear the lines. And with the wind behind him, he's cleared the ground a long, long way. That was a big kick, almost to the halfway line, from 5 yards inside his own try line. Now, the Salford tackling is going to have to go up a gear. Stevens for York. Over to Nicow. York will be cocky now. They'll be confident. It's Varzi. And it's still going well. And they're still keeping the ball alive. It's Hutchinson, still going. And he's out to the wing, and the wing one's got it. And he's clear, and he's a pass inside. But it's Cassidy who recovered the ball. Although it has to be said that Gilfillan, I think, was tackling Varzi without the ball. The ball didn't get that far, and it was Cassidy who's recovered the position from Salford. And that was from another very good York attack, who kept the ball alive at several play the balls and made a lot of yardage. Oh, it's exciting. The nerves are starting to jingle. The edge is now with York. There might be 12 points to 6 down, but Salford have only got 12 men. York are looking good. Salford had a chance just a couple of minutes ago, but couldn't get over the line. But he's pleased with the ball, and that's what we like to see Blease doing. He's breaking clear, and he's still going, and he's still going. And that was an excellent run from Blease. He kept the ball ready to pass around. He eluded 3 tackles and just couldn't quite find the man to pass to. That's better from Salford. It's going along the line. Over to Fell, to Cassidy. And Cassidy's seen the gap, and he's inside. Oh! Well, that was bright play from Salford. Cassidy saw the gap, and there were men inside and outside. He chose the inside man, which was Fell, but the ball went slightly behind him. A York player wasn't able to get on the ball. Fell recovered, and it's come down to York outside their own 25, with Stevens putting the ball in, but the penalty going to York. Foot up from Lee. Penalty is going to gain a lot of yards. Nobody covering the line. Oh! And I didn't see kicks like that from Salford. Now the crowd's with York. Across the line, and there's the danger man, Price again. That's the move they obviously work on. Stretching the Salford defence now over to the right. With a short break, the tackle almost eluded. And Williams brought down. That's Price again. Nicow on the ground. Who's it going to? Oh, and it's going to nobody. It doesn't have to. Hooker Horton making yards on his own. To Stevens. Stevens looking to make the break. Dodging, weaving. And it's hanging on. Passing down the line. To Varzi. And really, this is York playing very, very well. Varzi injured in that tackle. It's going right along the line with a little kick through. Oh, a kick that in actual fact was taken by the wind. I think with Salford going to make a change. And it's Tunks coming off.
Number 11, Shane Hanson, returns to reverse number 8, Rito Tunks. Right,
let's hope Hanson's hand is recovered. So, Salford with a fresh man in the pack, and a good man. That's him. Taking 3 men to bring him down. And the referee judging that the York player wouldn't let him get up to release the ball, to play the ball. So it's Burkitt with the kick. They're difficult kicks this half. It's a long way to the touchline in this wind. We saw it from a York kicker early on. Oh, I was going to say in the first half a York kicker kicked the ball backwards, and then Burkitt does exactly the same, but we'll let him off that. He's been very accurate with his goal kicks so far today. So it's Salford in possession, just inside their own half on the left of the field, with a careless mistake. Careless mistake at the play of the ball. Somebody took his eye off the ball just before he picked it up, because he realised he had a couple of options on, a couple of colleagues to pass to. But it's York with the put in and the ball. But the referee judged it didn't go in, and the scrum has to be retaken. York with the tails up. York with the extra man. The run around. Tackle missed by Gilfillan. He goes out wide. The wide tackle, a little bit too wide that time. Pinckney was unable to collect it. And there will be a scrum. And it will be Salford's put in. Salford with 12 men. Evans sent Salford's ball. Cassidy with nowhere to go on that occasion. Gibson hanging on to the ball. And Burgess driving a few more yards. Lee to Cassidy. Cassidy almost making a break, but on that occasion nobody to get the pass out to. And the referee are judging that the York 3/4 were offside. And I think Burkitt will kick for goal. 2 points at this stage of the game will be very valuable to Salford. Down to 12 men. Evans sent off for a high tackle on his opposite winger. And York in the ascendancy. So this will be some respite for Salford. 17 minutes into the second half. Important 2 points will mean that York will have to score twice to regain the lead. 12-6 at the moment. Difficult kick against a swirling wind, but it's high enough, and it just goes wide. That was unlucky. That was a good effort from Burkitt. He's making good distance with these kicks. Well, this is a good clearing run. Excellent clearing run from another. No, it wasn't. It was from Hutchinson. It was a good run, and unfortunately he's cross with himself for for knocking on as he got up to play the ball. But it's a cold day out there, perhaps fingers are getting cold now. Salford's put in. Nice clean take. Oh, but we're standing still, Salford. Gibson isn't. Bundled into touch. It's easy for us to say it from up here, but it is a wasted play to have to concede the putting it to scrum on the first tackle. The Salford players were stood still for that particular move, and now York have the ball. York have the chance, but Salford are penalised, and York will no doubt again make a lot of yards with a kick to touch. Game's moving York's way at the moment. Wind in their favour, putting to full advantage. Good 30-yard kick, still inside their own half. Salford down to 12 men. Not quite halfway through the second half. And that's that danger man Price again, coming from deep. That's a good pass. Out to the left. Out to Luluai. But well tackled by Burgess. Good tackle from Hayes. On Hayes. Stevens play the ball. It's the run around. Oh, well, that's good tackle from Blease and Cassidy together. Pushed the York team back a few yards, but all it needs is a kick. Unfortunately, that wasn't the most accurate of kicks. It's on the sixth tackle, and so Salford get the ball from the play the ball. Hand over to Salford. Onto Whiteley. Driving forward. The attacking half-back. Bradshaw. 2 more yards. Cassidy. Hansen. And again, the referee penalises York for being offside. And that was Lulai that seemed to be yards offside. Not going for goal this time. Burkitt looking to get the ball in the corner, which he does. So now Salford 10 yards from the York line. A real attacking opportunity. What can they make of it? Drive, Sherratt. Well tackled. 3-men tackle. 8, 9 and 11. And now it's Blease on the oh, that was a lovely run from Blease. He took the ball absolutely right, but the York defence was up to it, and Blease was stopped a yard from the line. Having difficulty unscrambling themselves. Cassidy stood still. Oh, and it's Blease who was injured in that tackle. It was a tough tackle. It's going out. And it's inside to Hansen. And it's Sherratt, and he scored! Well, Salford needed that. They kept the ball alive at the vital time. And that was a good try from Sherratt. That was a good team try. But Blease is still injured. But I'm sure he'll be pleased to know that his teammates took full advantage of that situation. Kept the ball alive in the centre of the field and scored a very, very important try. Let's remember, this game's a 4-pointer in terms of promotion prospects at the end of the season. And the Salford are down to 12 men, so they scored their second try of the game with 12 men. It was a good forward team effort. Blease drove to the right, went across the field to the left. It was Hansen who took the play on, and he was able to keep the ball alive for Sherratt to take it over. And Sherratt had a lot of work to do to score that try. He had to shrug off 3 York defenders, and he did it magnificently. Burkitt with the conversion attempt. And he makes it. Well, that's an excellent record today from Burkitt. He's only missed 2 attempts. He's been very successful with others. 1, 2, 3, 4 kicks to Burkitt. So that's 18 points to 6 in Salford's favour, down to 12 men. But still a long way to go. But Salford with the ball. Hanson in possession. York players looking as sharp as ever. They're in no way going to lie down over this game. They're going to make Salford work right to the end. And that's what those tackles demonstrated at that point. That was a nice little run from Sherratt. Kick from Cassidy. That's a good long kick. Well taken by Hutchison. It's good to see Salford following it up, 4 men up to take him. 10 yards outside his 25. Now Salford needed that score. It came at the end of a period of play when York had looked the better of the two teams, and there'd have been a tremendous tackling stint from Salford to prevent them from scoring. But that's a good pass. That was a well-worked run-around move involving several of the York players, but Luluai was well tackled in the end by the Salford cover. Now Salford mustn't go to sleep. If York were to score, they'll be right back in the game. Stevens still got his pass out, and that's a good kick. Hadley has got it covered. Who's going to take it? One of you. Gibson's. It's going to make a few yards, and he's through. He's clear. But what a brilliant run from Gibson. He saw the gap. He stretched his legs. Couldn't quite get the pass out, but it's Hadley going through. Gibson made half the length of the field then to put Salford in an attacking position again. If he'd had somebody up in support with him, he would have been able. And there's Cassidy standing still, nobody running off him. If had somebody in support, there could have been a possibility for another Salford try. It's fell down the line to Gilfillan, who's seen a gap. Gilfillan's going through. Will he make it to the line? No, but Fell will. Yes, he didn't know what's happened. He's over the line. No, he said he stopped him. He said he's an inch short of the line. Oh, knock on. Well, that was good play from Salford. Gilfillan was tackled, but he shrugged the tackled off. He kept going down the wing, and it was Fell again up in support. We've seen him do that so many times this year. And although he seems that the York cover was just too sharp on that occasion, he couldn't quite make it to the line. A try then might well have sealed the game for Salford, but as it is, it's York looking to break, looking as sharp as ever. And Salford have still got it all to do. Well taken. Let's hope Salford don't rue that missed opportunity, because that's what it was. Another inch, and Fell would have had another try for Salford. York in possession, they're working it clear well to Stevens. There's a little kick through, and I think that's probably an offside decision. Yes. And Salford ought to know, and away they go. Oh, he's pinched the ball. Cassidy pinched the ball. Well, Salford lucky to get away with that in some ways. First of all, the offside decision that the referee gave was absolutely right, and it was nobody's fault because it was just a ricochet. But then the talking was somebody's fault and unnecessary. And when the referee then allowed York to play on, Salford were lucky to regain the ball in a tackle. So it's Salford with the ball again. Just... Oh. Arthur Bradshaw was very unlucky there. Carried back yards and yards, and Salford penalised again for talking. Well, I don't think we've seen Salford have been penalised for talking more times in this game than that in the whole of the season so far. I'm sure Kevin Tamati will have something to say about that, because it now puts York in a very good attacking position, and that was forward, and the referee thought it was as well. So that's a let-off for Salford, getting themselves into trouble unnecessarily. Spell under the tackles. Gibson acting to play the ball, making the first break. I must say I would always prefer to see Gibson standing 2 or 3 men out from those sorts of positions where he probably will get that extra yard of space. Onto Hansen. Nowhere to go. Cassidy. Inside pass. Nobody there. Fell able to recover. Lees looks as though he's recovered after that earlier knock. Oh, that's a good thinking kick. It stretches the full back, but is able to take it cleanly and make yards before the Salford tacklers put him down. Well, there are about 12 minutes to go on my time. The Salford are in the lead by 18 points to 4. Salford only have 12 men, and York are looking lively. And Burkitt's had a knock in that one. He's just hobbling back a little bit. Gaps over there now. But Vasey, oh! Vasey looking as though his pass might have been intercepted, but now broken play. And a good tackle from Hansen to prevent the ball coming out this side of the field where there was a big overlap from the York point of view. But that's a kick through. Will Gibson be able to take it cleanly? Yes, he will. So now a long way to go. And the first tackle from AN are good enough. Burgess. A friendly push there on Gibson. Hadley in the line. Burkitt's injured. He's going to go off. Well, this is a... Oh, Hansen lost the ball. And that's a clean run into the line from Price. Oh dear. Oh dear. Good opportunist try from Price.
And the first one for number 10 Price.
It's right under the sticks, easy conversion. Just when things were looking comfortable for Salford, it was a drop pass that gave the ball to the York team, and Price, unopposed, under the sticks. But I think there's some more disappointing news now, as well as losing Evans today and for several games. Burkitt's injured. He won't play any further part in this game, I don't think, and so it's Kerry who's coming on. No mistake from Sullivan. Well, the try scorer had been carrying a knock at that point and is now being substituted. That's Kerry on the Salford side, and it's Weekly coming on for York. So we've got 10 minutes to go, and Salford now find themselves under pressure again. They're still in the lead. It's 18 points to 12, but they're down to 12 men. They were looking comfortable. York's tails will be up. They know that one score can at least give them a draw, and they've got time to do it. Kick. That's a good kick. It's a good kick. Look. Oh, Gibson taking off his shoe. Making valuable yards. That's what Gibson can do so well. He's so elusive. Lost his boot. So what can Salford do now? They're just inside the York half. That's on to Whiteley. Oh dear. To Sherratt. I know it's Sherratt. Sorry, Ian. On to Hansen. Looking to get another pass out, but wisely hanging on to it on that occasion. Another score for Salford now will be very useful. Cassidy. Oh, and it's a nice break, but not quite able to get his pass out. There's a good tackle from Mikau. Oh, a kick through from Lee. Didn't make ground. And it's York with the ball again. And Salford have got to do a lot of tackling. About 8 minutes to go. 18-12 up. Stevens ran a long way to get that ball. He's creating an overlap, and he's done that. And it's another still going. Oh, but he drops the ball. And Hansen recovers. That was a good tackle from Handley when York had a chance then, a real opportunity with an overlap to go in. But the Salford cover stood firm, and it was Hadley who just tackled well enough for him the York player to drop the ball. And Salford walking a little bit at the moment. Not a surprise, 12 men against 13 for most of this second half. But what a good break from Ian Sherratt. And they can't put him down. He's still going. That's an excellent break. Well played, Ian. He made 20 yards with that bust. Going across the line. Gilfillan taking a high tackle then on his upper chest. It's as close to around your neck as you can get. But Cassidy's going to kick to the corner. It's not. He's kicking it up. It's not going anywhere. And it was Kerry. Well, you could see what happened then. The referee adjudging that Pinkney, the York winger, was kicking out. And his enthusiasm to get up and play the ball. So a decision going Salford's way, giving them the chance. Because now there's the referee adjudging that was a forward pass. It was either a forward pass or he didn't play the ball properly. And it's incidents like this which in other games could prove very, very important. Indeed, they might do today, because from having an attacking opportunity, Salford conceded possession, and it's York looking sharp, running around, passing the ball, backing up well, bringing the ball away. A lot of yards with one tackle going across the field. And Salford tacklers having difficulty bringing him down. And now it's coming over to the left where the overlap is, where the gap is, and it's over to Pinkney, who finds the man on the outside of him, and he still goes on. But the referee adjudging that pass was forward. We've heard a lot of the referees whistle today, but I think he's been fair. Some decisions have gone for and against both teams, and Salford, I think, will be relieved that move came to an end when it did. It's Fell putting in one against the head, I was going to say, but the referee judging as it was feet up by York, and so Salford have the penalty, and Kerry will slowly kick for touch. So are Salford going to hang on? There's still 5 minutes left, and that was a good kick from a few yards in from touch. Then Salford are now outside 25, and that wasn't forward. A few yards from Sherratt. Every yard counts. Nice break by Bradshaw. Again, another few yards. Hansen's turn. And he can get the ball out. Lee hanging on inside to Blease, but too cramped. Nobody wanting to stretch it wide at this moment, wanting to play it safe. Another few yards from Bradshaw from the play of the ball. Going for a drop. Is it there? Is it? Yes! The referee's given it. Now that could be a very important score, because with 3 minutes to go, it stretches the lead to 19 points to 12. So that if York do score and convert, it will still mean they have to do it twice. Well, that's a good kick-off, a quick kick-off. Oh, well taken by Gibson. That was good thinking from Kerry, and a very valuable point for Salford. Now where's he going? He's stretching his legs. He plays well, Gibson. He makes valuable yards in those defensive positions. And it's Sherratt still going strongly at the end of the game. Had a good game, Sherratt. Ian Blease looking for a break, and he gets the ball out to Fell again. That man Fell, who's with him, doesn't keep hold of. That was another great play from Salford. Blease keeping the ball alive, hanging on to Fell, who made valuable yards. Kerry with nowhere to go, but almost getting through. Oh, and Fell's limping now after that. Hansen. But nobody in the line. Lee hanging on to it, doing the right thing. Well, Salford have received a few injuries today. So, and with Evans sent off. Oh, that's another drop goal attempt, but it's going to fall short. Oh, and he let it. Oh! And it was Gilfillan, I think, up quickly. No, it wasn't. It was Bradshaw up quickly and creating an opportunity, potential opportunity from nowhere, from nothing, just from the fact that the wind held the ball up and the York full-back was slow to recover it. So now York know they've got to score twice. Not quite the spring in the step now. That's probably a good decision. And that's a good kick. Who's going for it? Hadley's going to get it. Yes. Playing it cleanly. Now what can he do? Oh! Nearly broke off the tackles, but couldn't quite keep on his feet and not able to get the ball out to Gibson. Gilfillan jinking. Gilfillan settling nicely into the team. Cassidy to Hansen. Not long to go. It looks now as though Salford are going to make it. A hard-fought victory. Oh, and York have almost stolen the ball, but the referee are judging it as a bit uncleanly, and a scrum down given with the York put in. Well, it's been an excellent game. You wouldn't have thought it was second division rugby. It's been rugby of a high standard. The handling has been very good, and the quality of the thinking has been good. And I think two Salford players are injured there. Oh dear. That looks serious. Gibson's out. I think he banged into his own teammate going in for that tackle. But Cassidy's up, but Gibson's injured. Gibson looks as though he's taken a very bad knock. Well, we hope that that's nothing. I hope that's nothing too serious. Oh, but he's up. It was the smelling salts. But it's York not giving up. Still not giving up. And it's York, Salford intercepting the loose pass just on the final hooter. Well, that's a great result for Salford. They had to work hard for the whole 80 minutes, and they had to work extra hard in the second half after Evans was sent off, and that's going to be a blow to the team, not having him for the next few weeks. Also, we hope that Burkitt isn't too seriously injured. He's hobbling off at the moment, but let's say a very hard-fought game. Salford worthy winners, and they'll be very relieved to have come here, gone away with both the points, which keeps them undefeated, and we can look forward, I think, to next week's game with greater confidence. Final score: York 12, Salford 19. Well played, Salford.